Hello friends, welcome to the module on 50 source codes explained better in C language. Now, welcome to the programmers, welcome to the learners, welcome to all those who want to take a ready reckoner and a basic knowledge about C language. Although it is the first foremost language to start with, we still have great scope for learning. So the for the viewers, for the first time learners, I just want to tell you this is my one of the very many modules which I've created online on Udemy, and here I discuss about the tools of how to utilize is through an online compiler, the C compiler, which is the GDB online. GDB Online is an online compiler and a debugger tool for C, C++, Python, Java, PHP, Ruby, Perl, C hash, VB, Swift, Pascal, Fortran, Haskell, Objective-C, Assembly, HTML, CSS, JS, SQLite, Prolog, Code, compile, run, and debug online from anywhere around the world, and that is what the beauty is. So, as any program in any language, C is one of them. And here, the first line talks about hash include stdio.h, which is the standard input output header file, which has to be included in any program for execution. In addition, we have a defined function, int, the main function, and within the main function, we define the logic of the program. Now, in this simple program, hello world, we are defining the main function, and then after, we are applicating a printf statement or a function, we call it. And then return 0 because here the data type, return type of the main function is int. So if we execute this program using the run option, we'll have, as you can see down below, it's already executed, but we'll go as pressing the run key. And here it says hello world, right? So this is the first program which executes in order, and we can even manipulate it. Program finished, execute 0, enter to exit the console. So this is the first program, hash include stdio.h. There are many other header files enclosed. So the header file printf is included in that header file. So printf is a statement or a function which actually contributes. So if we do not include header file stdio.h, printf will be not understood by the compiler. So this is the first program. We come again with the next module. Thank you and happy learning.
Well friends, the next program we have in C is to enter a number and print the sum of its digits. Now the logic here is that we extract the digit from right hand side one by one and then keep on adding that extracted digit in the variable sum being used here. Sum is equal to sum plus n, and then m, and then n is a variable which had the earlier value of the number, and then sum is equal to sum plus n. N is n by 10 now, so the number gets divided by 10 to extract the rightmost digit. And then of course, till the while loop goes on till n greater than 0, the execution takes place, and once it is out of the loop, we get the statement printf sum is %d sum. So this is how the value of the variable sum gets printed. Now on execution of this program, we tend to, it is already displayed here, enter a number 1, 2, 3, sum is 6. Now I'll do it before you. I press run or press F9, and here it is asking for a number, so I just enter 1 2 3 4 5 as a number. So it will display the sum of digits of all the numbers in the digit 1 2 3 4 5 is 15. So this is how we execute a program to compute the sum of digits. As a part of explanation, we need to define the main function, define the variables n, sum and m, enter the number, and the number gets entered through the scanf function in n, and then while n is greater than 0, we take the loop extracting digit using n%1010. The digit extracted is stored in m, and then we add it into sum. Remember to initialize sum by 0 because this is going to be an accumulator. And finally, we print the variable sum as the sum of products of all the digits. Sum of all the digits. Hope this solves your problem and makes you a little confident over programming in C. Thank you and stay connected.
So friends, I have another program on C, is to input a number and display the factorial of that number. Now, one thing we need to be very clear here is that the variable we need to take in order to store the factorial has to be initialized by 1, because we are going to further multiply the extracted number into that variable. So that has to be the count and the catch, right? So generally the problem is that we forget exploring the concept in that regard. So now you can see here hash include studio.h is the header file defining the main function. INTI fact is equal to 1 and the number. Number is a variable where we are going to input the number whose factorial has to be computed. Now we take a loop from 1 to 1 less than equal to the number, and every time we multiply into fact, and hence the loop gets over, we get the variable number and the fact. So when we execute this program, enter a number to compute the factorial, say 5, hey, the factorial of 5 is 120, right? So this is how we execute the program using the run or the F9 option, and we are able to get to know. So the only thing to note over here is the fact is equal to 1. Why I have done that is because any variable multiplied by 0, otherwise it will be 0, So 0, anything multiplied by 0 will be 0. So in that case there will be a concern, right? So this is the logic which you need to consider, and that is the catch of the program. And then of course the format is %d, number and the fact. So these are two variables of decimal type which will be printed accordingly with the message printf in this regard. Thank you guys. Hello friends. Now we talk about another program which is to input a number and check if it is a palindrome. We define hash include stdio.h, int main, int n sum is equal to 0, temp, and then we display the message enter the number to be checked as a palindrome, where let me tell you, the term palindrome stands for a number which is equivalent to its opposite, the reverse. So we input it through the scanf function %d and %n, and then of course we define, rather initialize n into temp, and then we take a while loop. While n is greater than 0, the loop will go, and every time a digit is being extracted, and the extracted digit is stored in the variable sum multiplied by 10 and plus r. So this is how we reverse the number, right, using the logic. And then we divide the number by 10, so it reduces by 1 digit from the right. Now once the loop gets completed and the value of n becomes 0, the loop will come out of the loop, the control will come out of the loop, and the control will come to if temp is equal to sum. Now if the sum of digits is equal to the original number temp, then of course we display the message, hey, it's a palindrome, else it's not a palindrome. So this is how the execution takes place, and then of course we have return 0 because our function defined is int type. So let's execute this program once again. We run it, and then it says enter the number to be checked as a palindrome. So I write 1 2 2 1, right? So the reverse of this will also be 1 2 2 1, and hence it is a palindrome. Whereas if we enter another value, say 5 6 7, it's not a palindrome, because 5 6 7 is not equal to 7 6 5. So this is how we execute. Let's go through the code once again, and remember this is using the GDB online compiler and the debugger tool, which is used for C or C++ or even Python, Java, PHP, and so many other programming languages for coding, compiling, running, and debugging online anywhere in the world. So if you want to do it, you can go to onlinegdb.com, and here inclusion of the header file, the definition of main function, and the logic, right? So thank you so very much for being connected for this module of learning and the simple program clearing the basics. Thank you. Well friends, we have another program here which talks about inputting a number and checking if it is a prime number. Well, so we are using the GDB online compiler and a debugger tool for C language processing, coding, compiling, running, and debugging. So we can check it on online gdb.com. Well, the first is the remark we have is the program in C to input a number and check if it is a prime number. So we include a header file stdio.h, and we define the function, and then of course we have variables defined as n, I, m, 0, and flag is equal to 0. So we input the number in the variable n using the scanf function. Then we divide the number by 2, and then of course we take the loop from 2 to 1 less than the number or to that equivalent number, and then we check out if that there is a factor of that number, right? So if there is no factor of that number from 2 to 1 less than the number, that means it's not a prime number. But if there is a factor and that number of factor talks about the loop is over, and if the value of flag is 0, that means there is no factor of the number, right, from 2 to 1 less than the number or half the number, then in that case it's a prime number, right? So this is the logic we have taken. The next logic could be that we find the number of factors, but in that case we'll have to take the loop from 1 to the number, and in that case if the number of factors is 2, then of course we have the number as a prime number. Anyway, so either of the two, either we check for no factors or we check for 2 factors. So while executing, we enter the number. For example, it will ask enter the number. So I just write over there 25. 25 is not a prime number. So I need to check again with the value which talks about the framework. Let's say I enter 7. So 7 is a prime number, and it says it's a prime number. So this is the program which talks about, you can see it talks about checking the number of factors, and if there is no factor, right, from ranging from 2 to 1 less half the number, then of course we understand that it's a prime number. So friends, there's another program on C to display the Fibonacci series. Now we include the header file stdio.h, and we include the header file conio.h and define the main function. And then int, we declare some variables n1, n2, initializing n1 by 0 and n2 by 1, n3 as a third number, and 2 variables I and number. We accept the number in the variable number number, and we print a message using the printf. And then of course we are able to dwell by accepting the number through scanf, taking a loop from 2 to 1 less than the number, and then of course we initialize the sum of n1 and n2 into n3, display n3, and then reinitialize n1 and as n2 and n3 as n2, right? N2 as n1 and n3 as n2, and the process repeats. Get ch pauses the control, and then of course since we have an int data type function, we return. So now we just try to run it, and we see that the enter number of elements for the Fibonacci series to be printed. Say for example I write 5, so the display will be 0 1 1 2 3. See, the sum of the last two digits is equal to the third one as per the definition of Fibonacci series. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3. Similarly, we exit the control and we check it with some other value. Say for example 10. So I enter 10 here and I press the enter key. So the execution takes place, and now we have the 10 terms of the Fibonacci series starting with 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21 and 34. So this is all about the Fibonacci series in C programming. Thank you. Hello friends, welcome once again to the C programming, and this is we are discussing about the program in C language, and the compiler used is the online gdb.com. Welcome to the GDB Online as an online compiler and debugger tool for C, C++, Python, Java, PHP, Ruby, Perl, C#, VB, Swift, Pascal, Fortran, Haskell, Objective-C, Assembly, HTML, CSS, JS, and SQLite, Prolog to use to code, compile, run, and debug online from anywhere in the world. So here the program of C seems to be pretty easy. Here we are including the header file stdio.h, defining the main function, and then defining a variable age, needing a variable, and then I'm displaying a message, hey guys, please enter your age. So it enters the age, and then after I'm inputting an input function, scanf is used to input the age, and then there is an if condition which talks about checking whether the age is less than 40. If that is so, we just tell them that you're a pretty young man, and if it is greater than 80, then the display should be, hey gosh, my gosh, you're really old. And if the age varies from 40 to 80, then it will say, come on, you are old. So this is the logic which we have drafted in the program, and then of course I say press any key to continue to pause the control. As per the online compiler, it will wait for some time till you press the key and then you go back to the program. So looking at it, we'll just execute the program. You press run and the execution takes place, the compilation takes place, and now I'll just enter say 35. Now when I enter 35, the display should be hey, you are pretty young, because our condition is if it is less than 40, then hey my dear, you're pretty young, execution will take place. Now with another input, say for I'll just check on that. I'll press run. The compiler executes the program. Here I enter the age as 85. So it says, hey, my gosh, you are really old. Press any key to continue. So this is the execution which takes place. Right? And then we just click here to get to see the program again. So this is the execution of the program. We are using the functions like printf, scanf, which is included in the header file stdio.h. Now friends, we have another program which is using the while loop. So here in this program we are displaying the value of x being generated from 1 to 9 and finding the sum of all the numbers generated from 1 to 9. So here you can check I have taken sum as 0 integer type, and I have declared variable x as 1, initializing it by 1, and the loop will go from while x is less than 10. Then of course I am adding the very value of x into sum, then I am printing the value of x, then incrementing or updating the value of x by 1. So the loop will go till the value of x is less than 10. Once the value of 10 exceeds value of x exceeds 10, that means we will consider the value increment from 9 to 10, but it will not be added in the variable sum, right? So if in case we need to add the value of the variable into the sum variable, we need to put sum is equal to sum plus x after the increment of x plus plus. Otherwise the value stored will be only from 1 to 9. And then of course we are printing sum of numbers generated is sum. So let's do this change because it's just a part of the logic being defined. So we run the program and then we will tend to see how and what the solution is all about. So I'll just come back to the program, I'll run it, and here the program execution takes place. And then of course the value gets displayed. Check. So the values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sum of numbers generated is 45. And then of course it says end of the control. Right? So I'll just try to relocate the value and put this variable sum is equal to sum plus x at this place and see the difference. So it is 54. That means it is adding 10 as well, because 9 plus 8 is 17, 20, and then you get to 45 plus 9 is 54, right? So this is the program which talks about using the while loop. And the beauty is that the execution of the while loop will only take place when the value of x ranges from 1 to 9. And as soon as the value of x becomes 10, it will of course increment in the variable sum, but it will display, x will not be displayed but will be added here, right? So this is the generation of the program. This program in C further talks about defining a function, declaration of function variables. So here we define a function multy with two arguments x and y, and the definition of this function is, first of all we need to declare the function and then define the function. So and then calling of the function is done here. See, so when we talk about function or a method in C, the name of the method or the function defined, they are also known as user defined methods or functions, right? So here the name of the method is multy with two arguments x and y, both are of int types, and the return data type of this particular method is int. Now we come to define the method main function or the main method. We define the two variables x and y. Now these two variables are different and these two variables are different, right? Then of course we have entered two numbers. Now the very two numbers entered are x and ampersand y, and then we find the product using the call function x and y. So the value as arguments is passed here, and then of course we have get character to pause the control. This function pauses the control till the user enters any key to continue. And when this is the defining of the function, so the function defines the returning of x and y. Let's run the program. Now when we run the program, we'll check the errors. Here it is malty, right? And then now we run it again. Enter two numbers, say 12, the first number, and next number is 4. The product of your given two numbers is 48. So this is how the execution takes place. The two numbers are entered as 12 and 4 in the variable x and y. And then on the call of the function multy, we have two variables 12 and 4 which gets executed. Now we press any key to continue and the control comes back, so we can execute it again using F9. Again compilation takes place. Here we write 5, 6, and the answer is 30. So this is how we define the function. The name of the method or the function is multy with two arguments x and y. And of course when we declare it, we end it with a semicolon. We call it, we end it with a semicolon within printf itself. And when we define it, we don't end it with a semicolon. Instead we get the content here, return x and y. So this program talks about defining a method and then calling that method within the program accordingly. So guys, in this program we have a wonderful usage of the switch and the case, which is known as the branching statement, one of the conditional branching statements of C language. Being a structured language, we can see how we use the switch and the case and the break as a part of a continuation process. So as I've told you, it is a branching control statement where the control branches according to the input choice. So we first define three functions. First is the play function, the sing function, and the study function. The play function, as of now, executes the message, let us play guys. The sing function executes the message, let us sing guys. And the study function executes the message or displays the message, let us study guys. Looking at it, we define the main function, defining a variable input as integer type, and then we print a small menu where the options are 1 to play, 2 to sing, 3 to study, and 4 to exit. And then the selection is entered using the variable input. The input is an integer type which has to be 1, 2, 3, 4. If it is other than 4, of course, we display the message, sorry, wrong input, quitting the program. If it is 1, 2, 3, or 4, the execution takes place, right? So let's start executing the program by pressing the run or F9, and then the compilation takes place. Let me check what problem it has. We'll execute it again to check on this. Let's run it. Now here we get the output. The output goes like this. Press 1 to play, press 2 to sing, plus 3 to study, and plus 4 to exit. Let's see, I press 1. I press 1 as my selection. and then I press the enter key. So it says let us play guys, and the execution of the program goes out of the function, right? So that's the first input we have tested with. Then again we need to execute it, to run it, to maybe we can check option number 2. So here as per the condition it says let us sing guys, and then execution takes place further. Now we run it again just to get to see to the option 3 to study. So this is how we actually applicate the usage of the switch case statement, and it's just like branching control statement which branches the control of the execution as per the given logic. So 4 we give, accordingly the message comes, thanks for selecting the options. And then finally we check the last option as by giving option say 6. So in that case it will give the wrong message, quitting. So sorry, wrong input, quitting. So that is the execution of the program. And here let me tell you friends, this is one of the wonderful statements, switch case. So you can have multiple statements as a part of it. You can have printf, let us play, and then all that. You can even play the game here. You can do anything. So this can go to pages, your logic, and you can even call another function within this, and you can define it standalone. So this particular statement, switch case, is an important conditional branching statement like any other programming language, and it executes with the delight of the programmer. I hope it is clear. Stay connected with more of these programs. Thank you.